Welcome to our policy update for spring 2025. Today, I'll be focusing on some key announcements that will impact your teaching and curriculum planning for the upcoming academic year. Firstly, I have some exciting news regarding the Generation 2 T-levels. This includes the contract award for Wave 2, which will mean a change to the delivery AO you currently work with, and the tender process for Wave 3, which is a critical step in the continuation of T-levels from 2027 onwards. Next, we will delve into industry placements and look at the changes DFE announced earlier this year. Let's get started. So, this is DFE's current T-level rollout, including the Generation 1 and the Generation 2 contracts. This September, we see the first teach of the T-level in marketing, plus the first teach of the Generation 2 T-levels in digital, construction, and education and childcare. In 2026 and 2027, more Generation 2 T-levels will launch. We'll look at these in more detail now. In March, the DFE announced which AOs will take forward the Generation 2 T-levels for the healthcare science route. All three T-level contracts are currently delivered by NCFE, but we're pleased to say Pearson will be taking over the T-level in health and the T-level in science contracts for students commencing in September 2026. The DFE also confirmed the T-level in healthcare science will cease, with the final cohort commencing in September 2025. So, what does this mean for you? All students registered onto the NCFE versions, so students commencing their T-level up to and including academic year 2025 to 26 will remain with NCFE until the end of their study program. All students registering from academic year 2026-27 will do so with Pearson. You can find more information about migrating to Generation 2 in our FAQs on our T-level website. Also, if you currently deliver the T-level in health or science, we'd love to hear from you and work with you on the development of the new versions. If you would like to get involved, please contact Andrew Hambleton at the email address shown on screen. The tender process for the Generation 2 Wave 3 contracts is due to commence soon. This will include 6 T-level contracts, which will start in September 2027. The tender process will launch this spring and close early summer, with contract award due to be announced in autumn 2025. Now let's take a look at the changes to industry placements. Last December, the Department for Education announced changes, and in January they released detailed guidance. I'll just walk you through the key changes that have been made. Firstly, to reflect employer working practice, students will be able to carry out up to 20% of their placement remotely. For digital T-levels, this is up to a maximum of 50%. Remote is where a student is not working face-to-face with an employer and is working away from the traditional employer environment. Remote work should ideally be done on the provider site, unless the provider is confident the student has an appropriate home or alternative environment in which to work. Secondly, placements can take place at route level as well as pathway level. And finally, small group projects and simulated activities in skills hubs and training centers can take place on the provider site. To make better use of provider facilities, students will be able to undertake up to 1/3 of their placement hours on the provider site under the direct supervision of their industry placement employer. This should be particularly helpful where an employer already uses the provider site to train existing staff, or that they cannot have students on site for health and safety reasons. This will also allow students to work with a broader range of employers that do not have the facilities to accommodate them, for example, SMEs or employers without an office. These changes can be used alongside existing industry placement delivery approaches, which remain unchanged, such as including any relevant part-time work. Being able to use up to 2 employers, utilizing supply chain and employer network placements with up to 3 employers with 1 employer acting as the lead, having up to 35 hours of work taster activities, and finally, special approaches for SEND and youth offenders. Thank you for your time today. Don't forget, you can keep up to date with all things T-level by signing up for our monthly newsletter, and we'll see you in the summer term for our next policy update.